Hello, friends. How are you doing today? Welcome to Mark Talk. I am your host, Mark Levy, and I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are happy to have you if you're here in New York. It is an ugly day today, but you know what? We're here. We're warm. We're dry. If you saw my game in Dark Horse last night, I got new headphones. They're working now. Yay for breaking my headphones on camera. That's what happens sometimes. But we're here, and if you like what you see, press the thumbs up, subscribe, share it, send a comment. So today I'm continuing with my talks with game hosts and game creators in this community that I really enjoy. Today I've got one that I really wanted. You've seen him on the show before, actually. He was on a few weeks ago talking about all the other mini games out there. But I'm really excited. I played his game back in November, and he's someone that I deeply enjoy and really chance to talk to. His game is the best, in my personal opinion. The one, the only, Rob, the creator of Castaway. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's been a bit of a day, but you know we're here, and that's what matters most. And this is going to be the highlight of my day. I guarantee it.
Oh God, it must be a very bad day for you. Do you know before we came on?
Yeah.
I realized I was wearing the shirt I normally wear for game days, so I was like, no, I can't do that. So I had to go and quickly grab another shirt and put that on.
Like, do you have like a shirt for the game, or
the shirt I normally wear for the game? Yeah.
I never noticed it's the same shirt, and I've watched every season but the first.
Yeah. So it's like a gray, like checkered shirt that I wear, like buttoned down a little bit.
But it's like a lucky shirt. That's a better question. Like,
yeah, it's my probed shirt. Like I've looked in the chat previously, and they're just like, look at Rob, he's slowly turning into Jeff.
I mean, do you have a bit of a Jeff Probst vibe going on, or one of the other like LaPalia or something like you have that vibe of like I host Survivor going on right now.
You gotta try and look the part, haven't you?
I mean, you have to. If you're gonna do it, you might as well. And the thing that I will never forget, like the first thing I noticed in your game was like how well everything is done. It's not the flashiest game. It's not the hardest game. It's not the most twist-heavy game, but it's done well and it's done effectively.
Oh, thank you. Well, a lot of that comes from Alex Banks and playing his Zoom Brother game. I watched season 3 and then I played season 4, and watching that from start to finish was kind of gave me the template to kind of build my own game. So if it wasn't for Alex Banks and Zoom Brother, then it wouldn't have even started. So
and his game is great, and I'm really happy that brought you into this part of the community. Because I know that you've been doing orgs for a long time, right?
2002 on and off.
Nice. So. That's fun. Like, I mean, for me, I'm not even close. I'm almost at a year, but I'm not even close. Well, you know, like May is a year.
Well, I started when I was like 15. So if this community was around when I was 15, I would not be allowed to play.
Yeah. Well, because of age restrictions or because of family? Or
the community then was a lot different. It was younger people, you know, the older generation didn't really kind of get into it. And then as I grew older, the rest of the players also grew up, and then we just kind of formed our own little bubble, which is quite nice. So it's still nice to see, because there's people that I played with back in the day that are still around now, which is quite nice. We're a dying breed, but we're still around.
Oh, so like that. Like it sounds like you're like becoming extinct. I don't want that to happen. I love everyone that's like in our age range that I imagine has been playing these games for a long time. Like, I know Josh Felix and you have been playing games for a while together. So
yes, Josh is great. I've hosted him previously, and I've watched him kind of grow from his first game into how he is now. Not much of an improvement. Just kidding, Josh. He's wonderful. Love Josh to bits, and I trust him like implicitly with any kind of ideas, any kind of twists, and he runs a great series. So yeah, fantastic.
So what made you want to host a Survivor game?
I primarily hosted Big Brother games back in the other communities and stuff like that. But Survivor is the granddaddy. It's the granddaddy game. Everyone knows it from top to bottom. It's been around for like 20 plus years now. So I was looking at all the different games, lots of original formats, but all the original formats just kind of became blurred. So it was like, well, where's is there a Survivor game? Is the one that can be made? So I looked around and did a little bit of research, and it wasn't there. And I thought, okay, well, let me just see if it's see if we can do something here. So I'm still new to this community. I didn't come from where most players came from. So I put up $50 and I went, all right, well, this is my chance to say, okay, give me a chance. This is the money. Come hang out with me for a couple of hours. And if you don't like it, we'll never see each other again. And from there, it's just kind of spawned into what it has been now. And I've been massively appreciative for everybody that's taken part.
I mean, it's absurd to me that you've had, I think, 8 seasons now? Counting.
We just finished the 8th last weekend.
Yeah. And it's been very much word of mouth. Because I remember I saw for Pearl Islands, and I don't remember if I submitted for Pearl Islands or not. I know I looked at the application. I do know I looked at the application for sure. But after Pearl Islands, both Bethany and Jocelyn are like, Mark, you have to play this. You have to play this. I'm like, all right, that's good enough for me. And then I played it and had a blast, even though I was in danger for 3.5 hours straight, if I'm not mistaken.
You were in danger a lot. But you were also the first person to ever play an idol as well. So
really?
Yeah, you were the first person because in the first season it was very back to basics.
Yeah.
I was still trying to figure out how to use Zoom and things like that. So then when we did Amazon, it started being a bit more, adding more elements in. So when you found that idol and played it, that was the first ever idol player.
Wow, cool. That makes me happy because I'm also that type of player that normally has an idol or anything in their pocket. That's just real because I'm not the quickest normally with things. I remember because for those that don't know, the way Rob had it for I think the first 2 seasons of Idols, it was on a website, right? I know in my mind it was a website, but
So for the first 3, we had for Amazon and Philippines, we had a forum, which I would reskin every season, and then I would leave clues to sections in the forum that they'd need to figure out a password and get an idol, which would be a code word, and then you'd PM me the code word to get the idol.
Yeah. And I felt so happy when I got my idol. I remember the code was penguin or something like that. And I was just penguin. And you're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Because I just was never safe. I went to every tribal council. I remember myself and Fred were both well, I guess we are Malcolm and Denise, even though it doesn't work. And then he got out, then I got out 2 rounds later. Yeah.
And just missed out on the merge as well because I delayed the merge, I think, by 1 round.
Yeah, I was because I was the first member of the jury, but I didn't make the merge. And I remember it was also the day of the elections getting called, and the whole time I heard screaming outside my window, and I'm like, I'm gonna just give you a list after an hour more watching, and then I'm gonna try to dance with people and get ready for my next game at night. And of course, one of my favorite people to play with that whole season, JD, is watching too.
Yes, JD as well, your fellow tribe mate from
who we kind of half went after each other towards the end of my time in that game, if I'm not mistaken. But so it's so it's been so cool watching how I feel it's I don't know how big your casting pool was for the first season, but seeing it definitely grow with the word of mouth of so remember by Philippines, I feel people the name was this is a good game. Play this game if you can. Now it's just amazing people that love Survivor and will want to play hard and play in a fun game.
Well, a lot of it is my mantra when it comes to casting, I never recruit people. I always say, look, if you want to play this game, you have to apply. I'm never going to reach out to you because that's just pointless. If you want it, then you'd come to me. I'm not going to come to you. So I think that's the big kind of draw in it because everyone that's in wants to play and they're not playing it just because they owe a favor to somebody or they're meeting a certain quarter, they're meeting a quarter or something like that. And I think that kind of ups the gameplay a lot. And you're right, with the casting pool, when we started off in season 1, we had maybe 20. We just finished All Stars. We finished on 65 or 66.
And that was for, but that was for both All-Star seasons, right? Because it was the same application for both.
Well, this is the thing. The volume of the applications was so big
Yeah.
The people who weren't going to be in, and I changed that cast like 50,000 times. I thought, I've got to give something to them to say thank you. You know, I'm not going to throw you to one side. If I think that you have an unfinished story, then I'm going to give you that chance. And so that's what we're doing with Redemption Island. We're kind of trying to finish people's arcs, or maybe try and elevate them higher. So they are all stars. That's the important thing. It's just that their stories are better suited for this season, and I think I appreciate that more now when I watch Jeff Probst say this person wasn't suited for this season, because I get it now. I understand.
Yeah. I mean, when you're casting people, like, because like I've been on the same thing with the adventure game, which which my pool, I've been very fortunate of having like 40 people each season, and like being able to figure out like what combinations of people I want to play, like try not to have like obvious duos if I can. Of course, I fell apart in season 2, but thank God for Allie for being a amazing last minute replacement. But no, it's like that thing of like casting is so key of figuring out like what is the best cast that you can possibly have for that season, for that theme.
Yeah, it is, and when it because normally I pick the season, then I pick the cast, and then I try and figure out what I need to do with it. If that makes sense. But every season has been a challenge from the first all the way to the last. I told my girlfriend, like when I was sorting out the tribes for All Stars, I was sitting there. I must have sat there for about 4 hours, taking people out, putting people back in, taking them out, put them together. Yeah, I had it all written down. I had my Excel up, and I'm sitting there and freaking out. My girlfriend's going, "What are you doing?" I'm just like, "This is happening. This is a thing." And she just went, "Okay, well, have fun with that." And I'm sitting there going,
it's always fun, that type of stuff. Question, like, so I know that you choose specific Survivor seasons, like versus Pearl Islands and Amazon, then Philippines, and like et cetera, et cetera. Like, I know that with like Amazon, like the twist in that season, the real Survivor season of the Amazon was men versus women. Was that like an idea that you had like for some of these seasons? Like, because I know Pearl Islands, you definitely had, of course, like the pirate theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with each season, I try and make something a bit unique to kind of Castaway. So when you look at it, you go, "Oh, that's something that happened in Castaway." It didn't really happen in the first season, but for the second season, because not many females applied, only one. My initial thought was to have just all guys, and just have like all men, and then it's just men versus men. That fell through, obviously, because we got Joe, who was a fantastic.
Joe was great, and I always love seeing her watching the game. Like myself, Joe, and Hart are always watching every game.
Yeah,
at least part of it.
And so I try and go into the motive. I don't try and cast based on gender or how they address themselves in pronouns or their skin color or anything like that, because I want to make a good game. I'm not here to fill quotas.
Of course. Well, I meant like when you're choosing the themes for the season. Like, do you use like the original, like what Survivor was? Like, for example, like for like Survivor Philippines, like that was the idea of that was like people that were like injured that like that could play the rest of the season, and then like new people, and
yeah. So with that, in the early seasons, it was very much, let's pick my favorite season. Which seasons did I love watching? I love Pearl Islands, my number one. I love the Amazon, close second. I love the Philippines. The aesthetics are beautiful. I love the tribe names. I love the world that they build around it. And that's kind of been the course for like the first 5 or 6. And then these later seasons, now that what I'm trying to do is pick rubbish seasons and try and make them good.
I mean, you're definitely doing that, like with Redemption Island for sure, because I know your twists are gonna be incredible. And like Fiji, which isn't a bad season, it's just it's an obvious season. Like, I mean, like where the winner is gonna be obvious, and that's okay because it's a great winner. amazing final three too, but like it's that idea of like it's an okay season.
Yeah.
Like
Fiji is a phenomenal season. I actually watched the Marooning episode today to get ideas for it, because the guy that's going to be hosting it, because I'm not hosting it.
Yeah.
So we're bouncing out ideas off each other in the minute, and we've got a good kind of initial foundation. But we just want to make seasons that people kind of look on and just think, you know what? At the time, it wasn't so hot. Can we make it better? With One World, the season itself on the show, pants.
Yeah.
Because they divided them just 3 episodes in. It was just like, well, that twister is redundant. Let's put them all together. Let's put them all together for the entirety of the game. Let them interfere with each other's politics and things like that. And that's something I love exploring. With David versus Goliath, we explored, kind of great game players, Ganjo, against kind of the underdog players like your Caitlins and maybe Natalie's and Sadaf's.
Yeah. That was a season I watched every minute of. Like normally, because your season's like 6 or 7 hours, and I'm like, I'll pop in and pop out, but like I just couldn't stop watching, especially because like I became so obsessed watching Caitlyn play in that game. Like Caitlyn is someone that I want to see play in every game.
Yeah, Caitlyn's a phenomenal player, and I was so happy when she came back to play All Stars. And
yeah,
the next group that are coming into play Redemption, and I love every single one of them. They're all fantastic. If you're watching, hello. So, yes, I'm just thankful for everyone that wants to spend a bit of time with me, and hopefully I can not waste their time as well.
Yeah. I have a question because I want to talk to you about this, because I know that you have like a history with escape rooms.
Yes.
And I'm a big escape room nerd, and I would feel like I would be at loss if I didn't get a chance to talk to you about escape rooms. Like you hosted escape rooms, right? Like, is there?
Yeah, so I host escape rooms just part time, just for a bit of extra cash.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for about 2.5-ish years coming up.
Yeah.
So
like
doing that is pretty much hosting these kind of games. If you can control a group of random people, you'd have absolutely no problem doing it in an escape room, because it's the same principle.
Yeah, like how do you use your escape room knowledge to hosting minis? Like because like I imagine some like the techniques and stuff like, and like the technology and like the twists and stuff like that, like especially like with keys and clues.
As long as the players understand the framework, it's like that when you go into any kind of escape room. As long as you understand the basic concept, the host is only there to kind of get you in formation and get you in line and make sure they understand before they move over into that next phase. It's just like when you do the brief at the start, you have to explain the health and safety, what you can and can't do, all the boring bits and pieces. But as long as they've got that, they can go into that experience knowing full well they've got the confidence of the game master, and they're going to have a great time. And even when we try and give them a bit of help and try and push them in the right directions, like when I do like the tribe swaps and stuff, I always try and make it clear, like, this is happening. Okay, now we're going to pick this person. Now we're going to work that person, so there's no kind of confusion or anything like that. So as long as people understand that the host role is there to I'm losing my train of thought, just kind of point you guys in the right direction, then you'd have absolutely no issue whatsoever. It's just cool. Like being a teacher.
Yeah. And that's wow, that is a fire truck. I love living in Brooklyn. Yeah, Brooklyn's in the house. More apartment. That means windows never fully closed, and I've been stationed now. But before we wrap up with the whole idea of escape rooms, I'll obviously get back to the game in a moment. But like, what is your favorite kind of escape room?
My favorite kind of escape room are non-linear escape rooms.
Yes.
So for those that have never been in an escape room, there are 2 types. There's a linear one where you walk in, you see a number, you see a puzzle, you got to solve the puzzle to move on to number 2, to number 3, to number 4. Rubbish. Non-linear games, you can go with all your friends, you can just separate and then just kind of work yourself back together. So there's more puzzles to start off with, and as soon as you get in nice close together, teamwork makes the dream work, and then you all work together towards the common goal, which is beautiful. So that's my favorite type of escape room, and that's the ones that I host as well. It's so much more fun because you get to watch all these people just fight with each other and clamor over each other and have boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives, and they all fight and shout
It's
at
so
each
great.
other. And
it's so great.
I sit there and get fat, and I go on the microphone. You all right in there, guys?
They're like, we need help, and you're like, have you put all the butterfly pieces together? Like, oh, I don't know. Like, that's
you
just
feel like subtle clues, like shoot for the moon, and there's like loads of moons around the ceiling, and I don't get it.
There was one I did where it was an Alice in Wonderland themed room, and that's beside the point. But like on the wallpaper, there were two people holding hands, reaching out to you, and like the clue was like hold hands, and then like we're all just holding hands with each other, and they're like, "Are you holding hands with everyone?" And like, oh, and then he touched the wall, and then like a door opened. So like, oh,
That's
okay,
awesome.
it was really cool. Like I'm a big escape room nerd, like big escape room nerd. I've done like 70 probably. So, yeah. What is your favorite move that's ever happened in Castaway?
My favorite move, you'll have to forgive me because I'm on the index now.
Oh, you take like extensive notes of like every major. Like I know the chat's been talking about Juliana with using ASL.
Yeah, that was good when she was doing that. I think she was trying to say it to Ganjo and somebody. I think it was Ash, and they were saying that she would do like that, and Ganjo was going, yeah, and then like, after the vote, it was just like, do you understand what it meant? You went, no.
I love that guy so much. Like
one of my favorite moments was in Philippines. So in when you watch Survivor on the show, they always say like before they get the votes, if you have an idol, you want to play it, now is the time to do so. Brian had an idol, I think this was top 5, I want to say, and he was playing the idol for Rachel, but he kept saying it in direct message to me, saying like, I want to play my idol, and Rachel. I was like, no, you've got to sound this out. He's going, I want to play it on Rachel. I'm like, you're gonna have to use your voice, mate. And he was like, oh yeah, I suppose I should use my idol. I'm going to use it.
Was that the timer challenge you just referenced inside here?
Yeah, it's the timer challenge as well. So everyone turns around, you got to put their hands on the head.
Oh yeah.
Brian was giving it pipes over the speaker, and there's so many. There's just a phenomenal amount of game moves, and to pinpoint one and not think about all the others would just be insane. The first vote in One World, first ever tie, the first ever tribal council was Sean. He got penalized in that first challenge, so he couldn't vote, and he ties with Nick, and then he leaves on the revote. So he's the first person to ever play Castaway and never cast a vote.
Wow.
And then he ended up being the first one out. And then also in One World, there was the potential of a rock draw. I know people have been dying for a rock draw in forever. It was between Lance and Martha. And it was, okay, you got to now come to a decision. You know, if you don't, then it was Bertram, Courtney, and Trav have to draw rocks. And then they got rid of Lance. And then they ended up being the final 3.
And that's the thing that you love about that's one of the things I love most about Survivor, like the weird little things. It's not like everyone be like when they get on there, like we're like, oh yeah, I want to work through until the end. It's like that weird thing that like where you actually are stuck and you're like, I have to make this choice. You're like, I trust this person now because we made that choice together.
Yeah, I love that, and it's just, I think it translates so well onto Zoom as well, and everyone that's played has had, hopefully, touch wood, a good time. So I'm surprised there aren't any more like kind of Survivor games out there, because competition breeds makes us better.
And so it's like I feel like a lot of people are doing their own games, which I'm really happy by. But also, like, I think it's because of how good Castaway is, and I'm not just buttering you up because, like, I've been saying this for 4 months, like telling everyone I know to play Castaway. But like it's a thing of like I think people are afraid to go up when there's something as good as what Castaway is. Like the not just you, but like the level of gameplay. Like I remember like watching like whenever like some like Josh Felix plays, like they're gonna play big, they're gonna play bold, and they're gonna do it good because he understands Survivor, he understands mechanics. Like I remember like I loved it because like you it feel like someone that's done LRGs. It's the closest thing to an LRG that like a day long org can be, and like and that's a pretty big cup. That's like that's a pretty big thing for me because like I miss being able to like talk to like touch people like not you know what I mean like the tactility of like being able to be like I can see you, you can see me, like we can like we're both corporal bodies in this conversation. And we like you can trust me. Please trust me.
Yeah. It's just came a long way as well because when we used to like I think it was like the first 3 or 4 when we did the tribals it was just okay tribal spoken and off you go, and then I think it was from David and Goliath and started scrumpling up the paper.
Yes, I noticed that too.
And everyone was going, oh, that's so bad because there's your name and it's there and it's nice and it's pretty and it's on like stained paper and I just go, fuck, see ya. It's like being stabbed in the heart.
It's just so funny though. Like when you like when I think the paper is like the biggest secret of Castaway, like that people see because you write like you go off camera, you write down Brian, and then you write down like Marcelo. I'm just saying people that are in the chat right now and be like Brian, Marcelo. Like it's just really it's a beautiful like it's like the little touches that make Castaway like and of course the music stuff like that. I mean I feel like your game was one of the first games to use music.
I got that from Zoom Brother because the Big Brother show has the different competition music and the ceremonies and stuff. Music really sets the atmosphere. It's like when you play Amnesty, when you're in the chamber and you get the 90 seconds and it's 90 seconds, boop 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 boop,
yeah,
and your heart just goes, oh no, I'm gonna die. Music does help. It's helped massively as well. So if you're not using music, use it.
I don't, but I let them talk during elimination. So, and there's like no advantages in my game. So it's just like straight up vote out, you know? But
High Rise does this great thing where in between kind of waiting for like the votes and things, they'll play like a selection of music that the players have suggested, which is very nice because then you get to listen to some new music in the interim.
Yeah.
So yeah, music plays a massive part in it, and it does help really kind of set the tone. And I don't think it would be as memorable with the tribals and challenges and things like that if it didn't have the music. Because even as soon as you hear the boom, like whenever I play that,
it's also like smaller things like in your script, like you even say "Confessions of Love," which only happened once, like in Survivor. You know, like stuff like that, like things like that like oddly enough make you feel like you're part of the show, like which I mean I think that's what we all want to do, you know.
Well, it's just ever evolving, like how it is now to how it was back at the start is a completely different beast, and hopefully a lot better. But I don't like toot my own horn. One time that I did, I got told off, so I don't do it anymore.
Like how like know when it is right and when it's not, you know.
But I try not to toot my own horn and stuff like that. So anytime someone says like, oh, it's a great game, it's like it's a bought and paid for review, don't listen to them. I'd rather people get the idea of like, get their opinion of it not based off of somebody else. If someone says, oh yeah, this is a good game, then totally fine. If someone goes, this is amazing, it's the top 3 game, blah, 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 then that puts more pressure on, and then kind of puts pressure on that new person to expect absolute fireworks. And then if they're the second person voted out, then they just go, oh, that's a fat lot of good, wasn't it?
I mean that and I mean your game is just really inviting to watch and to play. But I mean, like, and Marcelo says you can toot your horn. So, what kind of, since like I know that you've been in this community for like playing orgs for a long time, but what kind of games that aren't Castaway are you drawn to? Like I'm not like saying like names of games, like what kind of game like seeing or playing in?
I like games that are just like me, simple, straightforward. There's no kind of big messy twist I need to figure out, and something that I can, when I go in, I understand it from the get go, and then I can just go, all right, this is my plan. I know the framework of the game now, so that's why I don't play as much, because a lot of the original formats do confuse me.
Yes.
And it's not them, it's me. I'm thick. So with something like Amnesty, I completely get that off the bat. I played the first Amnesty back in like 2017. I ended up winning it. So see you in Champions League.
I want to play a game. I've been applying. So like I love Josh Felix. I've loved him ever since I heard him in Survivor Pittsburgh, I believe it was, when he came out and played. And I was like, I remember I played a Discord game with him like early in like my career of this stuff, and I was like, oh my god, it's a guy from Survivor Pittsburgh. I'm so happy. So I fanboy. I do that. I'll admit that in a heartbeat.
Who's the one person you fanboyed over like out of since joining?
It would have to be the first time I talked to Muna. Like I know Muna, like I feel like that, I don't know if that's an easy answer or a hard answer, but like Muna's like those people I've just like, I'm happy that we've become friends, but it's also that thing of like, I'm like, wow, there's something, you have that about you, like that zazz about you that makes me excited to like communicate with. Yeah, we did, Josh. We played a fake version of Sequester that I believe my friend Nicole Horn won, but I'm not sure, but I know she was the final two. But no, it's a thing of I don't know, like Muna's most people, and they're a person they get very excited about. Let me think, because like I don't watch that many of like the LRG like videos. Like I watch like the ones that like my friends, but like my friend with like Naomi produces like Survivor New York and Survivor Brooklyn South are like the main ones I really tend to watch. But it's just, I don't know. How about you? Have you like fanboyed over anyone?
Brian Farella.
He was my starting room, my first ever Sequester game. So I've been a fan of
Brian's cool. Like anyone that plays, I'm starstruck by, just because like I've heard of players before they applied, so when they come in, I'm just like, oh, okay, they're definitely in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as soon as I see somebody, I just go, love them. I do my history on them, and yeah, fantastic. And Marcelo as well. Marcelo was great. Marcelo, if he had applied for All Stars, he'd have been in All Stars.
He didn't apply. It makes me so sad.
He was a game changer in that season. He changed the game.
He literally was the person that gave me the olive branch when I got in that soft tribe, and then like literally just took it away from me, and then like also a lot of other things. Like he was incredible that season. Did he came like fifth, right? Or am I making that up?
Yes, I think he was fifth.
Oh wait, I'm just gonna pull it up because I'm on your Castaway page. Marcelo was seventh.
Oh, seventh.
Yeah, because because fifth was Hart. Hart was incredible. Then, oh my god.
Oh yeah, Andrew Hart. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Because there's only Joe, and I know Joe comes third. No, Joe comes fourth, and then it's Santi Canoi and then Alejandro. So everyone kind of prior in the back, because I know JD was the merge boot, and then there's like that blur in the middle that I can't remember.
Well, there's a blur that you should forget between JD and Marcelo, but that's a whole different story together. Let me think. I want to talk about like your like future seasons, because I know like you've announced 2 more seasons. You got China coming up, you got Fiji coming up, which you said it's gonna be hosted by someone different, and it's gonna be an all POC season, which is fucking awesome. Especially because like that season did what Cook Islands did, but less icky. That's the best way to put that.
Yeah, so after we do this next season of Redemption Island, we're going to go all newbies again for the next two. For China, the theme around it is just like it was in the show. It's a war. It's going to be a war between these tribes, and we're going to explore the different aspects of Sun Tzu's The Art of War, because they made a big deal about it at the start and then just kind of fizzled out.
It really did. It was a huge deal in the beginning of that season, and then it just stopped like by episode 2.
Yeah, they gave him this big book and just went, all right, we'll read this, and no one really did.
Here's the table of contents, and then that's it.
Oh, this will be good for the fire strip. No, so we're gonna be exploring a bit of Sun Tzu's The Art of War, because there's loads of different chapters, and each chapter will work into an episode. So that's going to be very interesting. We're also going to be experimenting a lot with different tribe swaps, and there's kidnappings that I'd like to do. And then for Fiji, which is the OPOC season, I'm speaking with the guy who's hosting it, and I'm also speaking to POCs from across the community, and if they have any kind of suggestions or ways that we can make it so I don't get cancelled, obviously, because it's a white person hosting it is just completely invalidated. So I'm very thankful the person that is going to be hosting it, because I trust them. And
I feel like I know who the person is, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh, do you know who it is?
I feel like it's Josh. I don't think it is, but it could be Josh. It feels like it's Josh. The way your face is reacting is making me think it's Josh, also because I know that you and Josh get along very well, and also Josh is someone that you trust very well and has done a lot of games with you. So I feel like, and he's a good host. He's a host.
Well, you're wrong. It's Brian Farella. I'm only kidding.
Which is, not.
God, could you imagine? Oh no, but yeah, it's a good theory. That's all I'll say. Yeah, we're in the early stages of planning that, and we're doing a season after that as well. But I'm not 100%, so that might change.
Okay.
But my plan is 2 seasons at a time, just like they do on the show. Because they say like, they renew every year for 2.
Yeah.
So I try and plan 2 seasons each time, and then once that second season's finished, I then plan the next 2.
Because this cycle is the first time we've done 2 in a time, I believe, right? Because I don't remember you doing 2 in a time before All Stars and Cambodia and Redemption Island.
Yeah. So in January we had 3.
Right.
In February we only had the 1, because that was a very busy month for Black History Month, which was phenomenal. So starting kind of all the way from back in November, we did 2. March we're doing 2. April we're going to do 2. May we're going to do 2. And hopefully kind of keep that momentum.
Yeah. So what are your hopes for the future of this? I know you sometimes stream it. Normally it's through your Zoom, which I like that, because it's so fascinating to me that there's all these games that have production teams, and your production team tends to just be you, everything perfectly organized, run like a well-oiled tanker or something like that, like a perfectly run train. It's just it's so fascinating to me to see how your production team tends to just be, the face of your production team is just you, but what are your hopes and dreams for the future and everything?
My hopes and dreams. I've got a roadmap up to 12 seasons, which would be the one after Fiji. But then I want to try and get to at least 20.
Okay.
Get to 20, I'd be happy.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
It's so funny because for me with the adventure game, I was just gonna do 1 season. Mm-hmm. I'm planning up for 5 right now, but 5 might actually end up being the last. I don't know, because once my job comes back, my schedule is completely different.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as I said, there's an audience there for the adventure game. Everyone gets great. You get great reviews about it. Don't hear anything bad about it. So even if you have to take a couple of weeks out, you come back. There's people there that still wanting to play. And
I always thank you for your feedback, because you've always been a good friend of mine ever since we become friends. You're a really good dude, and I'm really happy always to see the success that you're getting out of Castaway, and can't wait to watch literally I wake up, I set my alarm. I don't set an alarm normally because I got no reason to wake up. And yeah, I know noon is not early, but it's also a thing of like I might not wake up. And I literally like I remember for Philippines, I set my alarm for like 11 a.m. So I wanted to see the cast reveal and everything. Um, yeah, and like because I'm a big fan of your game and you, so like I
I
love
get,
you.
I get people who send me DMs with like the because I do like the silhouettes,
Yeah,
and I get like 3 or 4 people DMing me like who watch it,
Santi
and
does
they're
that.
just like,
Santi
it's this person, isn't it? It's that
Santi
person.
100% EM'd you before cat.
Yeah, Santi did that for us.
He showed me like he's like that for no that like
you got a few wrong though. You got a few wrong.
yeah.
But yeah, I get them quite a lot, which is fun. But
Is there anything you're able to say about Redemption Island, or is it just going to be pretty secretive before March 7th?
so I said I was going to say 1 or 2 things, didn't I?
I believe you did, yes.
I did. I'm a man of my word. So there will be 18 people.
Which
There
that's
will be sorry?
That's nice. That's a good number.
Yeah, so we're going to have 18 people. It's all returning players. They're all people who got unfinished stories. Redemption Island is going to impact Tribal Council. We're going to be introducing something called the Redemption Rules. Because in Millennials versus Gen Z, we had different takes of different generations of rules of Tribal Council. We're introducing a new set of rules called the Redemption Rules, which is going to hopefully impact the game massively and impact how a person is voted out of Tribal Council and sent to Redemption.
Okay.
And the duels are going to be hotly contested. Like as soon as Tribal finishes, we go straight into Redemption. So there is no kind of breathing space between one or the other. Both tribes are going to see the duel. It's going to be awesome. Super excited. And the people that I've explained the twist to have said it's subtle, but it works. So I'm very happy with that.
So is it going to be like 2 or 3 people for each season pretty much? Or
it's a mishmash, just like with last time. There's going to be some of one, maybe one of the other. But it was just about picking the 18 I thought had unfinished stories or made bad decisions or had the odds stacked against them. So that was the reason why I wanted these people back.
That's so cool. I can't wait to see it. Anything else you want to talk about before we start wrapping things up? I got your plugs and a banner, of course. So.
Oh well, thank you very much. No, I'm good. Thank you very much. Hopefully, this isn't your lowest rated show.
No, actually, we've had in the numbers in the teens all day, which is great. Like this is up there with Lip Sync Assassin and Pyramid Scheme. So
because I watched the Lip Sync Assassin one, and that went on for like 40 minutes, and I went, how am I gonna compete with that? I'm just one man.
well, I'm having a good conversation. I've enjoyed this. I love talking to you, Rob. That's something that's we both have known is real. I believe it's mutual in that regard. So
Yes.
but I can't wait to see what happens in the future for the show. If people want to follow the show, they can follow Castaway at Castaway Series on Twitter. Redemption Island is 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on March 7th. I believe if you DM Rob, he will send you the link to watch it, which is always kind. Of course, you can follow Rob at Frassy Baby. How did you get Frassy Baby for your Twitter? I've always been curious about that.
All right, so this is an escape room story.
Okay.
We had a guy in with his family, and he was called Fraser.
And
he would sit at. Have you ever heard of a telephone desk before?
You there. Continue.
It's like a half desk. It's like a desk there, and then
yes,
immediately next to you.
Yeah. Like a small little.
So we got like a World War II room, and then he was sitting at this telephone desk, and he would just like take all the items, and he would just like put them behind his back.
Okay.
And like hide the clues from everybody else.
Oh no, that's me.
So me and my friend, we were in the control room. And we were going, Fraser, what are you doing? You're being crazy, Frazy. You're being crazy, baby. This was about 10 o'clock at night. And we were very tired, and it was just Frazy, baby. And I was just like, I've got to turn that into a username. So that's it, Frazy, baby.
Okay. I've always been curious about that. Like, so like, what the hell? Like, it's also a weird one that you just don't forget.
Yeah.
So, on this show coming up though, tomorrow we've got a new episode of Marketing Meets World with Scott Friedstein. We talked about episode two of season two, episode 8 of Boy Meets World, where Corey and Topanga make their sex lives and videotape episode, which is always fun. Coming up also on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I've got Santi with Dark Horse. Probably a couple of friends. Season All Stars just happened last night. This guy broke his headphones by accident. It happens. Brian Ferrello was probably a dark horse. Fun fact, he wasn't. But a twist happened that basically revealed every dark horse. And possibly Brian Ferrello was a dark horse last night in the second round. Coming up on next Monday, I'm going to announce at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Word on the street, not word on the stretch. I can't type apparently. But yeah, Trevor and Max from that awesome game will be talking here. Very excited. And Rob, I always like to ask my guests, would you like to be on my Brant Steele this week?
It'd be an absolute pleasure to star on a virtual island.
Awesome. Do you have a preference on what season it would be?
Do you know what? Make it the worst season you can.
So Thailand.
Let's make it better.
All right. I mean, that's always a fun thing. Also, people can follow me on MarkLevy85. If you want to support the show, this is new. A codefee.com/MarkLevy85. And that's a way you can actually support the show. Every dollar helps the show. Rob, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. And y'all better watch season 9, Redemption Island of Castaway, March 7th at noon. See you then.